Sometimes it seems like the whole world hates me. It's like a circus when all the lines break free. Chaos and madness, flames everywhere I turn. Do I attract it? It's like I love to burn. Whoa, living on the edge, no rules for me. If I never try and climb, am I really free?
So hi everyone to Searching for Goodness. Today we're in Marina del Rey with Jane. Sunday and Wednesday. We have two guests, Sunday and Wednesday, our little puppies. And we have a tuxedo kitty, which I don't see now. So I'm going to talk like this because I'm also wearing my Ray-Ban Meta as our fourth camera. Some people call me Bessy Bond, like James Bond.
Woo!
I love this interior. My toes getting licked by the dog. It's very comfortable. So firstly, can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure.
I know you do Vegan Network, but tell us all about your background.
My name is Jane Velez-Mitchell, and I am the founder and president of UnchainedTV, which is the world's only free, nonprofit, vegan, animal rights, cruelty-free, streaming television and fast channel network. So we are called the Vegan CNN Netflix because we're a little like Netflix. We have thousands of films, documentaries, and cooking shows, and we're a little like CNN. We have a lot of breaking news that we bring to our viewers as well as articles. We do it all, and we do it all for the animals, for people, their health, and for the planet.
Wonderful. That's all wonderful. So first thing, we see your network in the background. I see one that grabbed my attention, says AI and Animals, a short doc. Can you talk about a little bit about that?
Yes, well, that's one of the most recent documentaries we've uploaded.
In the same way that AI is going to affect so much of human life, possibly all aspects of human life, we can really think about it having similar impacts on animal lives.
What is upon us may be something as big and massively changing as the Industrial Revolution or the Agricultural Revolution.
I think there's a real concern that the effect of AI on animals will be negative.
I think it would be crazy not to wake up and see that this is actually going to be transformative. And the sooner we can do that, the better the world will go for animals.
We should be really, really cautious and make sure that AI is being used in an ethically responsible way.
We produce original content, but we also aggregate content from other vegan animal rights organizations. So Animal Ethics just put out AI and Animals. This is perhaps the most important topic of our times. If you care about the planet, if you care about animals, AI is, everywhere. And we can't just put our heads in the sand and say, oh, I don't like AI. No, it's here to stay.
How do we use AI for helping animals?
Well, we have to use AI to help animals by teaching AI that chicken doesn't refer to a dish. Chicken refers to a sentient being called a chicken who has feelings, who is, contrary to what people might say, intelligent, and who has a right to their own lives. And so, for the sake of the animals obviously cannot use AI themselves. So we who love animals need to use AI. I just had a woman the other day say, I'm not sure I'm aligned with you because the director of the film that you're premiering used AI to create the poster. I was like, I'm the person who did that. And you need to watch this documentary. You can't just say, I don't like AI. We need to realize that AI is everywhere. And if the good people who want to protect animals don't use it, then only the bad guys will be using it. So we've got to use AI. And in fact, I had some AI experts on my most recent podcast. And I asked them, I said, well, I use Gemini, I use ChatGPT. How can I specifically use AI to help animals? And they said basically, one of the easy things you can do is, put pro-animal messaging into whatever AI you're using, and when it spits out an article or whatever it is that you want, you give it a thumbs up. You click the thumbs up, and that telegraphs to that AI that that's good content. So it's a very easy thing. I did it today. I used AI, and then it spat out what I needed, and I said, boom, and it said, thank you for letting us know. And I was very happy that it confirmed what these experts were saying. Additionally, we need to, every single person who loves animals needs to teach AI by writing into AI when you are prompting it. Don't just say, give me a letter or an email or an article about this. State your case. Say, animals have feelings, animals feel pain, animals have rights, inherent rights. Right. They have a right to live a life without being exploited. They have a right to movement. They have a right to turn around. I mean, here in California, we passed a proposition that said animals should have the right to turn around. What kind of a sick society do we live in that we have to have a proposition and it has to go before the voters to say that animals have a right to turn around? Why is that? Because pigs are kept in crates the size of their bodies called pig gestation crates, where they can't even scratch themselves and they go mad. So anybody who responds to that by going, tasty bacon, I ask you to look into your heart and your soul and ask yourself, is that really the person you want to be? There's a kind person inside there, and sensitivity is what we need because these animals are suffering by the billions. We've industrialized animal production. These quote-unquote farms, they're giant factories with hundreds of thousands of animals. And now they're starting to use AI to automate them without having any humans there. So you can imagine if something goes wrong with the machinery, these animals are packed in there. It's horrible. It's horrible. I pray that AI can be used, if we all get together and teach AI to become an animal rights activist and a vegan, then society can be taught to change.
I love that. I agree. I mean, I have similar feelings about AI, even though particularly I didn't think as veganism or animal rights, but I feel like what we're feeding to AI is very important. Like, I feel like by searching for goodness, I'm adding goodness to the AI, cosmic consciousness, and you're doing it for the animal rights. You're right. If we don't use it, all the bad guys going to use it. They're going to use it for military. They're going to use it for bad things.
Exactly.
But we got to coexist and make friends with AI. That's how I feel.
We have to, because it's not going anywhere. It's taking over. And if to say you don't want anything to do with AI reminds me of people who didn't want cars. And when cars first came along, there were people who were like, this is the devil. I don't want anything to do with it. You know what? Cars replaced horses that were being exploited on the streets. Unfortunately, there are still a few for tourists in certain locations, and we advocate against that. But this is the future. Let's embrace it, and let's teach it to be kind. That's what Unchained TV is all about. And, Unchained TV is totally free. We have more than 2,000 videos. We have documentaries. We have vegan cooking shows with a whole bunch of stars. We have travel shows that show how you can have a great time on vacation and you don't have to exploit animals. Many years ago, I went to India and I rode an elephant because I was ignorant. I didn't know. And
What's
I've been
wrong
doing.
With that? Is it a bad
it's
thing?
horrible. They break these elephants. They take them away they rip them away from their family. Half the time they kill the family just to get the baby elephant. They break the elephant and they tie the elephant up, and because elephants don't naturally want to give human beings rides. So they have to be broken. And so I've been doing a living amends to make up for that for 35 years.
Goodness. And it was so simple to make, and it's just so amazing. Wow. now we're gonna try their fried rice. It looks so good. It's a char siu mushrooms. It's a smoked carrot sausage, tofu scramble, peas, bok choy, forbidden black rice, and a stir-fry sauce, and it all comes with a spring roll. Look how many plants are inside of that dish. It's just so incredible. I'm curious to know what the sausage carrot tastes like, so I'm just gonna go for that.
I definitely get the sausage
Oh
flavor.
my goodness!
Yes.
Oh my God, how did I do that?
So, I'm going to ask you two questions at
Sure.
once. So, this can be a little longer than 5 minutes. Two questions. One is, how did you decide to become a vegan, your veganism journey, and you can extend it to your network? And the
Yeah.
second question is, I'm from Istanbul, Turkey, and we love our stray animals. We have cats and dogs on the streets. We feed them, we love them, we love our animals, which shows we're good people.
Of course.
But for some reason, government constantly has attempts to kill the stray dogs and stray cats, and our people revolt, and animal rights activists revolt. And you said you participated in that. So I
Yes.
want to, like, veganism to Istanbul animals, can we go on that?
Absolutely. So I grew up in a mostly pescatarian household. I grew up in Midtown Manhattan, directly across from Carnegie Hall. My mom was from Puerto Rico. She was a professional dancer and had a Latin dance troupe. My dad was Irish, and he had an advertising agency on Madison Avenue. If you ever seen the show Mad Men, he was right out of Mad Men. And so my mom was very avant-garde. She was doing yoga before anybody really knew what yoga was. And she also gave up meat. And so my dad went along with that. Now, we weren't strictly vegetarians. We were pescatarian-ish, but we didn't have meat in the house. So I feel very lucky that I was raised knowing that something shows up on your plate, that was an individual who wanted to live.
Right.
And so you do not need to kill animals to survive. Actually, to the contrary, our killing of animals is killing us. It's killing the planet. It's the leading cause of climate change that nobody's talking about. Everybody talks about fossil fuels, but we've been talking about fossil fuels for 20 years now, and has climate change gotten any better? No, it's getting worse and worse and worse. The UN Secretary General just said we're going to shoot past the 1.5 degrees Celsius target. So what are we missing? We're missing looking at the impact of animal agriculture on the climate. Trees absorb climate. Trees absorb carbon. So what we're doing is giving the planet a buzz cut to grow crops to feed 90 billion animals we're killing every year. That's just land animals. And also to create grazing land. You chop down the forest and you create grazing land. And you don't let those forests come back. You have pasture maintenance fires that keep... So all those missing trees are not absorbing carbon. If we allowed the reforestation of the earth by giving up animal products, we wouldn't have to use so much land. We're producing 6 times the food we need, but we're feeding so much of that food to cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, goats, and lambs that produce a very little percentage of food by comparison. Meanwhile, there's literally hundreds of millions of people who are facing starvation and malnutrition who aren't getting the food because the overwhelming majority of soy and corn and other commodity crops are being fed to farmed animals. If we redirected that food to humans, we could end world hunger. We could reverse climate change. We could make people healthier because heart disease is the leading killer. That's from plaque clogging up the arteries, which comes from cholesterol, which only exists in animal products. Plants do not produce cholesterol, only animal products. You can go up and down the aisles, every single vegan product, the veggie burgers and everything else, the vegan cheeses, 0 cholesterol. So we could, and processed meat is officially cancer causing. Red meat is a likely carcinogen. I mean, I could go on all day. Most of the world's problems stem from the fact that we're killing these animals to eat and wear and to experiment on. We don't need to do any of it. We need to evolve to a non-violent lifestyle, which I will call a vegan lifestyle. And people think, well, I'll never enjoy dinner again. I'll never go to a party again. Nonsense. We have a better social life than the average person who eats animals. Literally, I could go to a different vegan event every single night here in Los Angeles, and it's true in New York, and it's true in San Francisco, and it's true in Chicago, and it's true in a lot of places. So what's so frustrating is that we feel like we have the solution to most of the world's problems, but the mainstream media is not telling that story. Why? Look at the advertisers. Big meat, big pharma, fast food and pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceutical industry would collapse if people went plant-based because they wouldn't need the statins, they wouldn't need the cholesterol-lowering drugs, they wouldn't need the erectile dysfunction drugs, they wouldn't need the diet drugs that are taking over a multi-billion-dollar industry. So we're trying to get the word out. That's why I started Unchained TV. I was a mainstream media, TV reporter and anchor for 30 years. I've been behind the curtain. It doesn't take a scientist or a brain surgeon to realize why are mainstream media reporters not reporting on all these issues. Look at the advertisers. That's who keeps the lights on. Right. So Unchained TV has all this crucial information about health. We have a great documentary called How Not to Die.
Clogging of arteries inside the brain with atherosclerotic plaque is thought to play a role in the development of Alzheimer's. This is what our cerebral arteries should look like. Open, clean, allowing blood to flow throughout our brain. This is what atherosclerosis in our head looks like. Clogged with cholesterol, closing off arteries, clamping down on blood flow. What kind of brain arteries do you want in your head?
That basically makes the connection between eating animals and dementia. Dementia is skyrocketing. Early onset dementia is skyrocketing. And it's the most feared disease, more feared than heart disease, because who wants to become mentally incapacitated? It's a nightmare. And it's also a nightmare for the people who have to take care of that person. So I know so many people who are saying their parents, oh, they're getting dementia. People who are not that old, my boyfriend has dementia, this one has dementia. I'm like, the answer, you know, in many cases, and I'm not going to pretend to be a doctor, but this film, How Not to Die, which has many doctors, makes the case that when the vessels in the body are getting clogged with plaque, and you can actually see it, you can see the vessels and you can see the fatty plaque. It's not just to the heart, which causes the heart attack, it's systemic throughout your body. So the vessels in the brain are getting clogged. It's going to result in reduced mental function. So we have the solution to so many of these problems, and people unfortunately are conditioned to say, well, I have a right to eat animals, I'm going to eat these animals and you can't stop me. You know what? We're trying to help you. We are trying to help you solve a host of problems. And it's frustrating because we're up against these. Look, the government's been co-opted by the meat industry. The USDA's mandate is to promote meat and dairy. The average hamburger would cost $30 if it wasn't subsidized by you, me, and all the taxpayers. So people say vegan food's more expensive. No, it's not. You can get a sack of rice, a sack of black beans, and some corn and some cabbage and some potatoes and eat for a month. But they sell this thing about, oh, it's elitist. It's, no, it's actually the way people ate to a large degree before the advent of fast food. The problem is that Americans already eat more meat per capita than almost any other nation. And he's telling people to eat more meat. No, they're already eating too much meat. How about eating other real food? Like fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, and legumes.
I mean, like, from meat eaters' perspective, for instance, my mom, like, as long as it's kosher, it's okay, she says. But they think it's a protein. It's like whatever benefits the meat has. But then my vegetarian friends say, or vegan friends say, well, there's protein in beans and protein in that. So we can actually get our nutrition from vegetables. We don't necessarily eat meat, right?
Yes, where do you think the animals get their nutrition from? The vegetables they eat.
Right.
And so...
But I have one more question.
Sure.
So when we used to have dinosaurs back in the day, there were carnivores and there were the plant eaters. So do you think that could be the case for humans too? There's like carnivores and then some eat meat and
Are
some
you
eat
saying that we're a different
Could that be?
species? We vegans, a more evolved, advanced species?
Maybe. You could be.
I've thought about that a couple of times.
Last we left off, are vegans more
Well, what about
evolved
the-
species? I think I agree
The
with that.
turkey? I'm sorry.
Let's talk about Turkey. So yeah, my beautiful country's people, including my mom, we love feeding stray animals. We love feeding cats and the dogs on the street. They're like our friends. I grew up with cats, and I was surprised when I came here, there was no dogs and cats on the streets. And when I found out what happened, I was with an Asian friend of mine, and when he told me like it's a natural thing, I remember like being so upset. And then they tried to bring laws to Turkey to, kill the stray cats and dogs. And all animal rights activists, of course, protest against it. We think it's really very violent and primitive way of thinking. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, we did a special emergency town hall for Turkey's dogs, working with In Defense of Animals and teams in Turkey who are trying to stop the slaughter of stray dogs and cats. So the people of Turkey love their stray dogs and cats. The sad part is the government wants to modernize, and what they don't realize is you can't really kill your way out of a pet overpopulation problem, because the answer really is spay and neuter. And so what they're trying to do is modernize, but as you said, they're using a very primitive, cruel, nasty approach that's really upsetting the people of Turkey. So we had people live talking to us from Turkey who are doing everything they can, but some of them were scared. Like, they were scared to go up against the government. They were speaking anonymously. There were a couple who were putting their face out there, but the people of Turkey don't want this. It's not the way to do it, and we really try to highlight the good people of Turkey in this emergency town hall, and really just appeal to the government. We work with a whole bunch of other groups. Like in that case, we work with In Defense of Animals. Sometimes we work with sanctuaries. Sometimes we work with Direct Action Everywhere, which goes in and rescues factory farm animals that are being abused. Basically, every animal in a factory farm situation, which is where 99% of the meat comes from, is being abused. There's no nice way to raise thousands, hundreds of thousands of animals in giant warehouses and do it nicely and slaughter them nicely. It's not food, it's violence. And that's the theme of Direct Action Everywhere, and that's, I agree with that. There's no need. We just put out a documentary that's premiering at LA Climate Week called The Climate Healers. And we talk about the fact that it's a solution to climate change. We could immediately begin reversing the Earth's temperatures. And people say, not a chance, I won't do it. We just randomly went up to somebody on the subway in Toronto where we were having the conference and said, would you be interested in trying out veganism? Not a chance. See, that closed-minded approach is what could make this planet unlivable. The planet will survive us. The question is, will humans be on the planet? If it literally becomes too hot for human life, if we wipe out all the species, because the other thing that animal agriculture does is that it accelerates species extinction. Football fields every couple hours are being destroyed in the Amazon to create cattle grazing land and to grow crops to feed 90 billion farmed animals we're killing. And so that wipes out all the wildlife that are there. So we're now reducing wildlife to just 4% of total mammal biomass, while we have increased livestock to more than 60% of total mammal biomass. That's the total mammals on the planet. So we've turned our planet into planet slaughterhouse, and we think we're not going to suffer any repercussions. No. We are barreling toward a climate apocalypse, and we just covered this in our film. And the people say, well, you know, we want to do this for business reasons. Well, guess what? The ecology is bigger than the economy. The economy is inside the ecology. When the ecology collapses, the economy will collapse. And we could have a crisis that's much worse than the Great Depression of 1929 if we continue to abuse our planet.
Yeah, thank you so much for supporting all the animals and for Turkey as well. That's very important. Yeah. I mean, somebody got to speak up for them. Climate change is real. So you're saying basically veganism is good for humans' health. It's good for animals. And also it's good for environment, everybody. It's good for, I mean, and yeah, I thought veganism expensive because when you go to a market and look at vegan products, they look kind of expensive. But if you're saying, you know, beans and rice and cabbage, like that kind of stuff you can get and eat for a week and you still get all your nutrition, then if people focused on producing these, based on what human nutrition needs, let's produce that and distribute it to everybody. It breaks my heart. Either I see a stray animal on the street or a homeless person on the street. Why would anybody need to be hungry? Then let's take all that financing, put it in the nutrition that everybody needs and distribute it to everybody. My one concern is though, we used to have horse carriages in Turkey, in the island, and then once they stopped that, whatever happened to all those horses? We don't see horses anymore. So my concern is anybody really going to care for these animals anymore if you don't eat them?
Well, the first step in breaking through cultural brainwashing is to ask yourself, am I being brainwashed? Because as Dr. Silas Rao, who I just focused on in our documentary, said, it's not just the animals that are being factory farmed. We're all being factory farmed. They want us to get fat, sick, nearly dead so they can feed us all these products, like all the pharmaceuticals that are a multi-billion-dollar industry. This film, How Not to Die, shows prevention is not taught to doctors. All they do is wait till you get sick, and then they either operate on you or medicate you with pills.
We're going to start over here because we're going to make our sauce first. We're using a little bit of coconut milk. We're going to use some soaked cashews. Now, I always use organic cashews, a whole bunch of basil.
I can smell it.
You can smell it. This is a little Bragg's liquid amino. Now, I would do this to taste. Okay, so we've got a little bit of Italian seasoning we're putting in here, and of course some garlic powder. Add the zucchini.
Okay, wait, we're getting a death stare from Jane.
Before we proceed any further, when there's a blender going, we dance. It's called the blender dance.
Now, do I get to blend and dance?
Yes, you
Maybe
can
just
blend.
shake my booty?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, don't hate me, but I am not a vegan yet. But I think at some point while I'm just doing this searching for goodness journey, I think I'm going to convert. And today is one of those days I feel very, very ignited to convert. Like, what could be something veganism can do for people to convert to veganism, basically? Because what if like vegans really got together as a network and say, you know, if you turn vegan, we'll provide you food for a month or two or a year. I think that might be very possible for people.
We do that.
You do that?
Yes.
If I turn vegan, you're going to feed me? I might.
Well, we actually we set up in the beach in Santa Monica and we feed people. And we just, because if the world went vegan, we could all eat for free. We're producing 6 times the food we need, and yet millions of people are going, hungry and dying of starvation. It's not optimized properly.
It would definitely help with groceries cost.
Yeah, why not? I mean, and imagine your medical bills dropping when you don't have, you know, again.
What's the most important things? Let's say I turned vegan. Like,
Yes.
what would be my diet like? What are things?
Well, you could have any number of things. You could have oatmeal for breakfast, or I have an apple and a banana with some peanut butter on it. That's usually what I have for breakfast. And for lunch, I will have a salad or a wrap with tofu, or they do have these meat alternatives that the meat industry is on a campaign to demonize, but they're basically like a veggie burger is just a bunch of peas and
I ate
things.
a chicken last night. It tastes amazing. A vegan chicken.
Vegan chicken, you can't even tell the difference. I was just at Natural Products Expo West, the largest natural products convention in the world, and they had plant-based chicken, and there were thousands of people there. They weren't vegan, but they were eating, and they're like, this is chicken. No, it's made from plants. We're a smart society. If we're smart enough to send people to the moon and create artificial intelligence, we can make something that tastes like chicken that doesn't involve killing a chicken.
And please, cheese. Cheese can be better.
Oh, the cheese is getting better and better
getting
now.
better? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
once they sold the cheese, I'm in.
well, you know, cheese is addictive because Mother Nature put something called casein in the cheese, in the mother's milk of a cow, to encourage the baby calves to drink the mother's milk. But we are the only species that drinks the breast milk of another species. When you start thinking about it, cheese is concentrated cow's breast milk. Does that sound appetizing to you? Concentrated cow's breast milk. And in order for us to steal the mother's milk, we have to separate the calves from the mother. So the mothers cry and scream. We have hundreds of videos of this. The babies cry and scream. Also, people can steal. My dog is upset about it too. Sunday, no. Also that, you know, we can have this product called cheese that is addictive because casein is addictive. But now we are finding plant-based caseins. And so there are some high-tech things going on. The new cheeses, Rebel cheese just got honored by Time magazine. I have it in my fridge. It's delicious. And they have cheddar, they have Parmesan, they have all sorts of, so the vegan cheeses didn't start out great, but they got a lot better, and they're much better now. You know, remember, the word vegan was only invented in 1944. Okay, it didn't even get into dictionaries until 1960. People had no idea, vegan, you know, they had no idea how to pronounce it. So people have been vegan throughout history, back to the ancient Greeks, but there wasn't a name for it. And these products that, see, the industry and the media that is against veganism, they're trying to put us in a no-win situation. They say, you know, plant-based food, just like carrots and rice and beans and cabbage and spinach, that's boring. So then we create all these alternatives to their favorite foods. We have vegan chicken, we have vegan burgers, we have vegan cheese. Then they go, oh, that's processed. Well, no, it's not. If you think there's no chemicals in meat, you're kidding yourself. There's estrogen, there's chemicals. And again, processed meat is officially cancer-causing. That's why colorectal cancer is going up. Red meat is a likely carcinogen. I mean, these parents feeding hot dogs to their kids. If you saw a parent giving their kid a cigarette, wouldn't you call child services? But yet they are shoving hot dogs down these kids' throats, and they don't know any better. But you know what? There's enough information out there. What's happening is that people don't want to know because they don't want to change their habits.
When I want the absolute latest and greatest things happening in the entire vegan movement, there's only one place I go: UnchainedTV.
Party animal out of my cage. Go check it out. You're going to love it and thank me later.
So you mentioned you were Webley Awards. You got nominated.
Oh, yeah.
And please tell us a little bit about your network. How do we subscribe? How do we follow? If you have other ways to reach out to you?
Well, it's totally free. So you can go to UnchainedTV.com. You can go to Unchained.tv and go directly into the online portal to the streaming network where there are 2,000 videos completely free. You don't have to give your email, nothing. We wanted to make it as easy as possible because we're a nonprofit. I'm a volunteer. I don't take a salary. This is a passion of mine. I can't sleep sometimes knowing that I have the solution, that we have the solution to so many of the world's problems. And we just have to effectively communicate it to people and hope that people have a psychic shift and realize that, hey, it's not that I won't eat meat, it's that, hey, I don't have to kill animals to have a fabulous, healthy, delicious meal. And so that's the transformation we're hoping for. So we have 2,000 videos. We have award-winning documentaries like Forks Over Knives and How Not to Die and Vegucated and tons of them. We have reality TV series. We have something called Pig Little Lies, the world's first reality TV series that stars pigs. And it's really fun. We have award-winning cooking shows, and we have reality television shows like Green Goddesses Take New York, which was just nominated for a Webby Award. So right now, we're up against Jimmy Kimmel.
It's a sign. Nice to meet you. I love what you're doing. There you go. Yeah. Thank you. What's your name? Ja. Ja? Justina. Oh, I love vegan food.
I'm a plant-based eater, so I...
Yeah.
Stop throwing all y'all trash in the ocean. Oh.
You are very talented.
We have a vegan from Switzerland here.
All right.
I don't know when this comes out, whether we will have won or come in second, but just as they say, it's an honor to be nominated. And we're working very, very hard. We're mostly volunteer run. I'm a volunteer. We have tons of people. These actresses volunteered because they're passionate about this subject. And we have people who volunteer to cook and volunteer everything, because once you wake up and you realize it, you become really motivated to tell other people. It's almost like don't look up. It's like, there's a fire, our house is on fire, there's a way out, and people go, no, I'm asleep, I don't want to hear. And you have a sense of urgency because we don't have forever. The clock is ticking.
Very well said. It's amazing what you're doing. I'd like to applaud, and I hope like many more will be applauding. Yeah, we gotta speak up and educate people, enlighten people.
You can get it on your phone. Just go and put Unchained TV, one word, into your App Store, your Google Play Store, and it pops right up.
I'll get it now.
It's free. Yay! It's completely free. We're a nonprofit, and the great thing about having it on your phone, you can also watch it on television if you have an Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, a Roku device, or if you have a Samsung TV or an LG TV, it's embedded. Like I have a Samsung, and so I just go into the search and I put in Unchained TV, boom, it pops up, and then I can save it as one of my favorites to my home screen.
It says step into a whole new world.
Yep, there it is. There it is, and it's totally free. And it's basically your portal to a new way of living. You know,
yeah, you really made it so easy. I didn't even have to put my username and password.
No, nothing. We took all that out because we didn't want to make it hard. I mean, this is life-saving information. There's nothing worse than heart disease, than cancer, than dementia. And if you can avoid it, prevent it from happening in the first place, why wouldn't you? And especially you can have delicious food at the same time. You know, the industries that profit from animal exploitation are hell-bent on conditioning you. No, it's going to taste bad. You'll never have fun again. They're making money off of you.
Yeah.
You're the sucker. They don't care that you get cancer, heart disease, obesity, any number of things that will happen from eating meat and dairy, fast food. Fast food, you know, that's the primary vehicle to get people to eat meat and dairy products. They're not serving many kale salads at McDonald's. I don't know. I've never really been in one, but I think that they're serving mostly quarter pounders of beef.
Yeah, I mean, like there could be more vegan fast food options too for people, but like veggie burgers started closing.
Yeah.
They're not
See,
so good. Huh?
The last thing I'll say, when Beyond Meat had its initial public offering in, I think it was 2000.
Oh my God, when I first eat that, it looked so bloody. I was like, did you guys give me real meat? Like, I couldn't be sure.
Yes, Impossible Burger. The meat industry was very threatened by it. The very title of the product is Beyond Meat. So they waged war on Beyond Meat. They are out to destroy Beyond Meat because Beyond Meat says it all. You don't need to eat meat to have a hamburger, or now they have steak. And it's certified by the American Heart Association. It's heart healthy. So they've just really waged war against this product. And the print media has jumped on board to wage war. You know, some of them are being paid outright, I think, because they write nasty articles about veggie burgers. You know, where's the nasty articles about meat? About what it's doing? My gosh, I was working on a story when you came. $70 million was just awarded to somebody who got a flesh-eating bacteria from water from a chicken processing facility.
Given that chickens are by far the most consumed land animal on the planet, Daring's wild success with chicken alternatives is a game changer.
Today we're showing off some of our new items, our diced and our shredded chicken, and two amazing recipes, a fly by Jing bowl, which is here, and then a shredded chicken salad that we're serving cold. And the reception's been incredible. I think it's a 1-for-1 in terms of taste, and we have meat eaters walking by, grabbing that buffalo chicken and saying it's amazing, and coming back and doubling back and asking if it was chicken or not. So I think we're doing a great job.
All that bleep, okay, manure, animal manure. Imagine the amount of manure that 80 to 90 billion land animals produce. It's going into our water. And it's ruining our rivers and our oceans. I could go on all day. It's the source of almost all of our problems.
What does it say on your tea?
Oh, I have yogi tea.
No, the other side.
Oh, let's see what it says. It says, your inner self is your inner guide.
Nice. I like that. Okay, wonderful. I guess we're coming to the end of our show today. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to know you and learn so much from you. I already got your TV on my phone.
Yay!
I'll be looking at it, checking it out. And any last words for our audience?
I want to thank you for watching this and listening to this. It takes courage. Most people, or a lot of people, say, don't tell me, I don't want to know. But the fact that you're watching and listening to this means that you are open to evolving on this issue. And I got to tell you, you will never look back. You will love it. It is a joyous, happy, delicious way of living. So check out UnchainedTV. All the recipes are there. Anything you want to make, from dessert, soup to nuts, and dessert, we've got it for you.
So what we do is, our slogan is goodness will win. So if you say with me to the middle camera, let's say it together, goodness will win. Armin will count 3, 2, 1, and we say goodness will win. And after that, if you can invite our audience to join your network and also watch Searching for Goodness on YouTube.
Okay, I love it.
Goodness
will win. And I invite you to check out Unchained TV. It's free on your phone, on your TV, and online. Unchained.tv.
Also, Searching for Goodness is also free on YouTube. Please watch us both. Thank you.